Hemp, a true product of wonder. The durable fiber of the cannabis plant. It can be extracted from the stem and utilized in a vast multitude of industrial and medicinal applications. Did you know hemp yields 4 times the amount of paper per acre than trees do? The cannabis sativa plant, which produces hemp, also matures faster than trees. A brief 4 months as opposed to 10 years, offering a much faster production time. Most importantly, hemp can provide all of these raw materials while mitigating the destruction of oxygen-producing forests and the diverse ecosystems that dwell within them. But despite the facts, the production of hemp is federally forbidden in the United States. What happened? To understand, we have to go back to America during the mid-1930s. Anti-reefer propaganda is at an all-time high. Remember these PSAs? Although hilariously inaccurate when examined now, films like these were effective at evoking mass hysteria among the citizenry.
The next tragedy may be that of your daughter, or your son, or yours, or yours, or yours.
Eventually, in an effort to stop the use of cannabis, the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937 was enacted. Cannabis was now illegal. Unfortunately, the production of hemp was also prohibited under this new law. But wait, hemp isn't a recreational drug. So why then was the mass production of this important plant fiber being prohibited as if it was one? The answer is simple. Hemp was guilty by association. Both the cannabis herb and hemp are 2 strains of the same plant called Cannabis sativa. Many feared hemp because of its aesthetic resemblance to marijuana. Authorities were also worried about potential secret grow-ops of marijuana herb cloaked in the near identical looking hemp fields. With a ban on domestic production, the hemp industry could no longer compete with alternative industries, and manufacturers turned elsewhere for the resources. But was it really that simple? There is evidence that leads us to believe there were much larger forces at work when it comes to the federal banning of hemp. In the early 1900s, George Schlichten introduced the hemp decorticator. This technology had the potential to make hemp a legitimate competitor to synthetic fiber and plastic industries. Largest of all, the hemp crop's superior output of paper was an even greater threat to the timber industry. William Randolph Hearst, the biggest newspaper mogul in America at that time, played a key role in evoking hysteria against the cannabis plant. He would often fabricate negative news stories about cannabis and propagate false information about its side effects. Remember, this was the biggest newspaper man in America, and he owned a great many acres of forest to provide paper for his news. So it's not hard to see how Hearst and other corporate officials could have had a vested interest in partly plotting the downfall of hemp. Of course, it is not known for certain whether or not these industries intentionally brought down hemp, so I want to emphasize that this is just a popular theory. However, as a theory, it isn't too far-fetched. After all, we've seen large corporations obliterate progressive alternatives to protect their interests before. So, what now? Well, at the moment, laws prohibiting hemp are lightening up in the United States. In recent years, more and more people have rediscovered the value of the crop, and hemp-based products are finally making a bit of a comeback. Things are looking up for hemp, but only time will tell if this supercrop will ever reach its full potential ever again.